apa yang drive you guys to really want to produce Redha?
Okay, kita buat iklan banyak untuk BSN. Hujan punya muda punya video klip, it's an iklan come video klip. Okay. Then Datuk Adnan Maning lah, the CEO, cakap, korang ni buat iklan untuk aku bagus-bagus, tak nak aku buat feature. Kita kata, mana ada duit? Aku ada creative grant lah. Datanglah ambil creative loan. It's a creative loan.
Datanglah ambil.
Datanglah. So cakap, boleh dapat ke? Korang boleh lah. So now that we know we can get a loan.
Loan je.
Still a loan. It's a loan. Masa dulu tak ada grant Finas. So it's all loan. SME dengan BSN. So bila Mona decided, tak macam mana, tak Allah punya kuasa, dia terasa nak buat autism. So dia jumpa kawan-kawan dia dalam industri advertising yang ada anak autism. Arwah Syah tu. So jumpa borak lagi dia bersemangat nak buat. Because it's a story never been told. That's when she decided, okay, since we already got a 3 million loan, I want to do an autism story. I start research first. So research tu kita orang keluar duit sendiri lah. 2 tahun research. Loan dah ada dah. Tapi kita extend loan tu, tak ambil. Sehingga dia dah habis skrip semua, dah confident nak buat, barulah kita minta the drawdown of the loan.
Masa production Redha tu, when you went into production, macam mana rasa dia? Despite of your years of experience dalam TV production and advertisement, now you're doing a feature film, berbeza tak?
No, because we follow the commercial discipline. So what happened is, I am KL based, which is as a EP producer. Mona is also an EP director at the base. I have a ground producer. I have a production manager who doesn't hold money. So whatever he needs, he will ask the producer. The producer will clear it with Mona and myself. So kita ada checking macam tu. Right? And because we have a constant flow of money, so there was no issue. The bank was very helpful in that sense. So I'm one of those reliable company where we have money given to us in advance, then only we close the job.
I understand. Mona and yourself EP, executive producers, and she also the director kan?
So kalau benda yang request ke I, yang I rasa apa macam ni banyak sangat, I will call Mona, did you ask for this? Really? You need this? Yes, I do. They justify. Okay lah. Then I tell the producer, okay lah.
Typically, the cliche dia adalah the executive producers dengan director akan sentiasa squabble kecoh-kecoh. Okay, you guys, husband and wife.
Oh, squabble.
Memang.
Squabble. Nak pecah pintu rumah kan. When she decided to shoot 4K raw. 4K raw on Alexa. My hard disk alone cost me 75,000. Because why? 4K raw dia tak nak kacau. You have to duplicate the same content onto an Apple ProRes, sync it for the editor to use. Master tak kacau. So everything is duplicated. And dia tak ada shooting ratio. Ikut suka hati dia nak shoot.
Duplicated tu meaning double the cost juga? Tak.
Yalah. Selalunya orang akan pakai dia punya raw and edit from dia punya raw. Maknanya whoever the editor, the editing system must be able to support the pure raw file. Okay. But instead, because no company can do that at that time, so what we did was the 4K, katakanlah satu hard disk, 2 tera, we duplicate 2 tera into Apple ProRes format. That's where the audio pula disynckan ke the visual, baru editor ambil. So that's the processes beranak lah.
She just had to do it in 4K because dia cantik. Apa the option selain daripada 4K?
2K. Because our cinema only runs in 2K.
So why is the need for 4K?
When you want to go international is 4K ready. So Netflix pun kalau nak beli, dia tanya, kau ada 4K ke? Our international distributor pun, first thing dia tanya, is your film 4K ready? Yes.
If not, they won't take it.
They're not interested sangat.
I see. So constantly antara the director and the executive, the other executive producers biasa bergaduh. Mana boleh, janganlah.
That's why aku tak turun set, because I will then be fighting. Right? Therefore, I only come down when there is a problem or there is a need to send money or whatever. Unless than that, I don't do.
Oh, jarang lah ada di location.
Tak ada.
Ini pun film dia yang pertama. Selama ni dia punya production hanya dia buat probably TV program.
The reason dia buat 2 telemovie sebelum Redha is because all the while dia buat storytelling commercial 60 saat, 90 saat. Dia tak pernah buat sepanjang tu. So bila the opportunity rises that dia buat Uri, the first super tele, she went all out to do it. And when it got attention with Astro, they gave her Parit Jawa to do. Or she proposed Parit Jawa and it won. And nama naik. That's when she felt that, okay, I'm ready to do a full feature length. Because that is feature for TV. So we don't dare main jump aja. So we did our homework first.
So you evolve, you gradually meningkat. Okay. Dia sebagai seorang manusia tu, apabila dia dalam tempoh menerbitkan Redha tu, when I write stories kan, the 2-3 weeks when I'm writing it, my world is my world. Orang with our family pun kita macam half there, half somewhere else, all the time. And then tiba-tiba the world of my story kadang-kadang bila masa dia boleh macam termasuk dalam my reality. When you look at her, when she is directing Redha tu, dia ada benda-benda yang kelainan yang macam tu tak? Macam is her mind really with you or her mind still in the Redha world?
Mona on set is not the same Mona at home. She's a bitch on set. Betul, kau tanyalah Namron. Namron akan cakap dia garang. Dia tak kira. She gets what she wants. That's how she got the respect of Eman Manan. It's like, I want. I'm the director. Garang. Janganlah kau main dia dekat set.
Keluar daripada production.
Luar dari production boleh isap ukur, lepak dengan kru. On set, start je. Dia lepas doa dia je, kau jangan main. She will doa every morning. After her doa, that means the cap is changed.
The world of the story tu ke, the mind can switch, can compartmentalize kan.
Dia in that sense, when she is immersed in that project, then aku kena faham lah. Dia punya research, dia punya apa, dia mesti ada dia punya tata cara dia. Kau jangan suruh dia tukar. Dia akan argue dengan Finas. How can you want me to give you things within a month? No. You know my style. But because dia ada credentials, orang dengar lah.
For feature film pun sepanjang I would say 120 minutes tu memang semuanya ada dalam board ke, dalam visual board or storyboard you call it?
No, dia punya original panjang. What she shot is a lot. So that is an edited version of what the original cut is. The first draft is 2 hours plus.
Kenapa boleh the first draft is 2 hour plus padahal you all ada script? Macam mana ini boleh berlaku?
Okay, because script tu is what she sees in the research. So much so, dia nak cuba, kalau boleh nak ajar orang sebanyak boleh pasal autism. Then it became too informative sangat. That's why the Mak Saleh yang datang tu bergaduh dengan dia. Say, Mona, you're too close to the subject. No, you don't need this. You don't need this. You don't need this. You don't need this. And it takes somebody that she respect that high to be able to tell her.
Masa you all go into production, the script tu korang dah finalize ke? Memang dah. So the script, daripada script tu, let's say 2 hours. Dia akan beranak ketika production. Tidakkah
sometimes
itu
you get inspired, you get more shots, you drag the scene.
Ya, padahal itu benda yang you tak boleh membenarkan ini berlaku kan?
It depends. You have to give some license to the director, right? Especially when the director is also the EP. It's within dia punya range. Aku dekat LA ada orang tanya lepas Hollywood Reporter punya screening. You know, especially Mak Saleh tanya aku, Haris, as an executive producer or producer of this film, I would really like to know what makes you want to accept to do this film. Right? Aku punya jawab senang je. Before I answer you the real answer, let me explain something which you all don't know. We are husband and wife team. Tak payah explain, dia orang dah gelak lah. Well, when the wife wants to do, what can the husband say? Aku jawab macam tu kan.
Itu
Nak
polisi.
salih. Mak salih gelak terdiam.
Mana negara kita jawab tu pun orang faham. Tadi kita cakap pasal disiplin. Tadi kita cakap pasal your background in advertisement. And yet, apabila you all go into production, the script dah ada dekat situ.
Feature, okay. Feature is a different cup of tea. Because you are doing it for yourself. Creatively.
Okay.
The discipline can be everything. But the creative is not governed by the product or by whatever. It's you. You came up with the story. You came up. Kau must remember, dia bukan hired gun director. Maknanya skrip orang lain, producer orang lain, tapi bagi dia direct saja. Macam Ahmad Idham buat untuk orang lain lah. Cuma olah sikit saja. Ini dia came up from zero. Right? It's dia punya baby yang dia beranakkan selama 2 tahun lebih. Right? So the script itself already panjang.
Okay, sorry. Bila you dah ada draft tu, and then this is your company, this is yours. Macam mana you nak cakap? Who will decide? Yes, this script is done. This is complete. This is what we want.
Okay.
And to approve it. How
Be honest, in any of Mona's production, is her. She and she alone.
Isn't that dangerous?
No. Aku checker bahagian duit je. Creatively, I cannot get involved. I will not get involved. Unless dia minta opinion. Suruh baca ke apa, what do I think. That's how we have managed to survive 20 over years together in the same company. We're very professional that way.
Yeah.
Kalau gaduh pun gaduh bab-bab yang kita patut gaduh. Gaduh dulu. Duit ke, budget burst ke, apa ke.
I think I come from a place or time yang cakap you tak buat apa-apa lain sehinggalah skrip ni sempurna, siap. You and then the perjuangan adalah untuk get it betul-betul final, and then to get it
can
final,
never get it final.
You have got to go through like at least four, typically at least 6 draft. Lepas tu baru you cakap okay, that's it.
Redha is 10 or 12 drafts. Daripada English version was written by Mona for Michelle Yeoh. Dia nak berlakon.
Dan kenapa tidak Michelle Yeoh?
With Michelle Yeoh, your film will be here. Without Michelle Yeoh, your film is here. With Michelle Yeoh, my cost will go higher. Then my 3 million will be that small. So the question is, do I want to swim? I want to be a small fish in a big pond, or a big fish in a small pond. I chose to do what we want to do. Malay film, Malay language, Islamic base.
Siapa yang check on this 10 draft? The script?
Mona sendiri.
Mana boleh dia check sendiri apa yang dia buat?
Because you must have, remember dia ada co-writer yang tulis dalam bahasa.
Okay, dia buat English, lepas tu dia buat co-writer buat dalam bahasa.
Dia buat English, dia bagi. Dia dah bincang-bincang, writer tulis. Writer tulis datang balik. Baca, tak happy because writer olah salah. Panggil balik, discuss balik, buat balik, pang-pung lah. Then finally dah dapat. The last 2 draft is basically dia dengan masa script reading. Dialog ni tak best, tak lancar, repair, tukar, become another draft. Right? Sebelum script reading dengan kru dulu, kru yang rapat dengan dia, maknanya production team dia. Baca script tu dulu, tak sedap lah. Apa kau ingat? Arwah Pit adalah Pit Hanif, Fauzianawi punya anak. Kat mana? Rasanya tak sedap, ni tukar. Okay. So that's how she works.
Tadi bila you cakap macam ni, most of the argument ataupun amendment tadi itu adalah based on the dialogue. Kan?
Dialogue, story flow structure, the screenplay.
Yeah. Writing is about rewriting. Writing is about structure, kan? Kalaulah amendment tu kebanyakannya macam berlaku seolah-olah dialog, but the structure is already there.
No, you can move certain scenes forward. That makes more sense than you put it backwards.
Itu you boleh address ketika editing
No, you want to see the flow of the story.
dalam script tu itself.
Because kadang-kadang continuity of the scenes. Baju link ke apa ke. Kalau kau tak ubah awal, tak see the whole big picture, kau tak boleh.
Yang draft ni termasuklah kepada the structure itself.
Yes.
Primarily the structure paling tu.
So the final draft is the structure, the dialogue. Dialogue tu pun dia, for Mona, dia akan loose lagi. On set, mana tahu ada impromptu ke apa.
Yang okay. Last sikit lagi. Bila you go into editing, macam mana you tahu cerita tu? Patutnya kena tanya Mona ni. Hopefully nanti I dapat interview dia lah. Macam mana dia tahu, yes, complete, it's done, it's finished?
It took her so long, back and forth to lock the picture down. Kebetulan masa kita lock the picture down, masa itulah kita jumpa Mak Saleh yang tolong UA tu. So finally dia kata bila Mona is happy with her final cut, lock picture cut, send it to us. So that's when we send to them in France via link. So dia orang tengok, that's when Alan call us and say, I think I need to come down and help Mona. So beli dia business class, put in a good hotel. Dia turun seminggu, dia bergaduh dengan Mona. Mona, you don't need this. You're not a teacher to tell them about autism. Blah, 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 blah. You need a fresh set of mind. Because she was too close. Yalah, 2 tahun research, 2 bulan shoot.
Kalau you boleh recall balik, macam mana dia bila dia cakap, dah siap? Were you there bila dia cakap, dah siap? Ataupun dia call you, I think I've done?
No, normally dia dah happy, they call I will view at the editing place. What do you think? It's a bit long. I think so too. So, I think it's too informative. Aku akan bagilah, masa tu lah the best time to comment. Biar dia argue dengan aku. Or defend the edit.
Bila dia habiskan, okay, done. Dia memang puas hati lah. Bukan terpaksa kerana time scheduling ke apa dia.
Kita
memang
tak
dah.
Kita tak pernah rush for that.
Okay.
The only thing is with her, she will never be happy. So you have to put a stop. Say, no.
Yeah, that's quite typical.
No, I think we've done good. I think it's good. Ready to go. Barulah. Post production pun susah. Dia pergi Imagica Johor. Stay in Johor for about how many weeks?
Post production.
Dia punya grader is a German guy who loves the film, who wants to work on the film, who's a very technical sound person. So sekarang the next feature, kalau dia minta dia tu sekarang base kat mana? India ke dekat mana tak? Have to fly him in.
Bang, thank you so much.
Most welcome.
You studied dekat apparently Vancouver Film School.
Yes, I went to Vancouver Film School.
Bila tu?
1992.
Wow. Macam mana boleh nak belajar film school?
You see, okay, kalau nak kira kan, this industry is very unknown then lah. Most parents takkan suka punya. And so while I was waiting for my results from 5, I had a chance to work in an advertising company. Then I like it. That's when I met Hafsham for the first time, Osman Hafsham. Lepas tu, I went back to Form 6. Habis Form 6, the boss of the company called me and asked me to come and work. So I kerja lah sementara tu results. So when the results came out, that's when it's either UiTM, sambung belajar, Masscom. Masa tu dah minat Masscom lah pasal advertising. Or I work. And at that time in 1980, probably 84 or 85 macam tu lah. My salary was at 700 dah.
Banyak
so I thought I might as well work lah, you know. So I decided to work. And of course, my late father yang bela I tu couldn't understand the fact that balik malam, you know, and the way the dressing is semua, it's not the typical government servant as he would expect it to lah. So my two sisters actually had to explain to him that if I like it, why not, you know. So finally I worked, and then I met Hafsham again, followed some shoots, then I like it. That's when I met Arwah Mustafa Ma'ruf, who then told me that Hafsham actually told me, cakap, kau muda, asal kau nak duduk industri advertising, masuk filem lagi cool, lagi, you know, awet banyak. So I like, why not? Then I say nobody offer, you know. So then out of the blue, Arwah Mustafa Ma'ruf called and say, I heard that you are interested to come into film, you know. Kalau nak, Abang Mus want you lah. So I thought, why not? You know, he matched my salary plus job bonus for every job. So I went lah. So I went. It's a small company, but you get to learn lah because it's small kan. Masa tu zaman filem. So every production house yang buat iklan kena ada own machines. That means own editing, own cameras. So we had 16mm and 35mm. Masa tu the DOP that was in-house was Jamal Ma'arif.
Wow. Arwah, yeah.
So all of them, and I had Bada who used to assist. So I learned a lot from Bada and from those people lah, you know. And because you minat, therefore your livelihood is tak ada kerja pun lepak dengan editor, belajar, you know. So after that, Hafsham set up his own company called Cinematic, and that's when he said, Haris, come lah, I need your help. So I decided with Abang Mus, okay, I had it enough with you after 2 years kot. 2 years or 3 years, tak ingat lah. I went off with Hafsham and I freelanced for Hafsham. Hafsham I've never become permanent, but it's almost like freelance permanent lah. Job dia semua I buat. So he sent me to jaga Nasi Jani at the time. That was one. It was a series where Hafsham direct setengah, dia direct setengah, Samudra Gagah, Navy punya series dekat Lumut. So can you imagine a young rookie like me having to manage somebody like Nasir kan? It's quite a good experience lah.
This was back in the 80s after Abang Nasir directed Pengarah.
Yes. So I was with him, and then after that, Hafsham absorbed me to do PMI 2+1. 2+1 became my baby.
Jadi apa dalam production tu?
I became the producer. That means I revamped the whole cost and everything lah. So I actually, that's why I call it my baby, because I actually sort out the sponsorship, the money bit, talk to stations, you know, became part 2+1 became part 1, part 2. So it's PMI, you know. So things like that was all under me. Hafsham just direct. I went on to pick up the scripts, selecting the script, recommending to him. So it was alright lah. That's when after the last 2+1 recording, I decided I save enough money. I said, okay, bloody hell, I want to go overseas. So I decided to go to Vancouver, and happened to be the class of 25. My classmates were the likes of Kevin Smith, yang buat Dogma, Chasing Amy, Clerks. Then the DOP that was my assistant was David Klein, who now shoot for Homeland. One of the producers that was very close to me, Scott Mose, produced Good Will Hunting. So those are my classmates.
Wow.
Right? But
masih keep in touch dengan orang? Masih keep in touch dengan orang, Kevin Smith?
Kevin Smith kurang sikit, but every now and then dengan Scott Mosier and dengan si David Klein, who now shot for Homeland. So when I was in LA, selalu say I was in LA, dia balik ke kampung dia, Idaho, you know, things like that. But yeah, the beauty of it is they were laughing at me why I bothered coming to Vancouver kan, with my what I had done before I went. But to be honest, I told them I learned everything in Malaysia, and whatever I'm exposed to is in Malaysia. I needed to know what's it like abroad, you know. So it was good because masa tu zaman Stephen J. Cannell, Aaron Spelling based dekat Vancouver. So over the weekend, carilah duit 50,000 Canadian, kerja dengan diorang, PA, balaci, you know. So it was good because the instructors or the lecturers that came to Vancouver at that time are all industry players. So because you are the most seasoned student they have, so you get offers. Hey Haris, you got nothing to do over the weekend? You want to follow me? You know, kita je lah. Because that becomes a treat meal for me. Every money I make freelance becomes a special meal for me at restaurant somewhere. Kalau tak sardin dengan telur je lah kan.
So you get to meet Stephen J. Cannell.
No, I don't get to meet them, but I get to work in their set and get to see the YT studio, how they work professionally. So that opens up my mind on how people work lah properly.
92
21 Jump Street.
21 Jump Street. Masa tu Stephen J. Cannell and those generation dah towards the decline kan, dah makin turun kan, because some newer bunch
producers coming. So but that's when I know what happened to Vancouver punya industry. At one time it went into a slum because the union was so strong that producers internationally tak nak datang, susah. You know, then when they relax a bit, that's when people come back again, you know. So all those were learnings for me that I carry back, you know. And then I stopped by, of course, being me, I stopped by LA and I went to see the recording of French Prince and Bel-Air and Arsenio Hall. So when I was there, that's when I realized, hey, actually whatever we did for 2+1 PMI, not far off lah. Not far off. It's just that we probably didn't have that much money compared to them, right?
The budget.
Because we are governed with budget. But whatever HUBRAM did, we did was about the same. Cuma masa zaman they call this comedian sweetener, where they pick on you masuk aja studio tu, dia dah pick on you so that people laugh. So you punya tickling sense tu dah apa orang kata, very sensitive. What we did with 2+1 was whenever the audience datang, student datang, kita bagi dia tengok the old recordings of 2+1 and all that. So sebelum kita orang start the live recording, they are laughing already. So sensitiveness of dia punya laughing nerves tu dah di warm up kan.
Macam mana korang dapat teknik tu? Korang discover sendiri ataupun korang telah baca-baca di majalah dan sebagainya?
To be fair, that is where HUBRAM comes in.
Macam mana dia dapat tahu pasal
dia
teknik
kan
tu?
Dari UK, dia London Film School. So he is a proper film school person too. That's why he inspired me, and the other guy was Kamal Mustafa, who inspired me in the commercial side, who did a lot of Arwah Yasmin's commercial.
I see.
So these two were my main mentor and inspiration to become who I am lah.
Which one you would prefer or better at, TV production ataupun film?
Okay, to be honest, like I told everybody and everybody laughed, including Kevin Smith, who told me off. I actually, because when I went into commercial at a young age, daripada zaman advertising ke even film, I realized that's where the money is in Malaysia. Commercial payment director mahal, right? So, and then the excitement was just there because you change project every so often. In a month, you could be shooting 3 different commercials, kan? And every commercial, the task is different. So I went to Vancouver and I told them, I came here, I learned, I want to go back and shoot commercials and be director. They laugh because in North America, commercial tu kira level bawah lah. Film is level atas, right? Even drama is midway. So I'm like, I don't care. Hence why after graduating, I didn't stay back and I decided to come back. And the fact that my late father is also dah berumur kan. So that's where those bunch of people that I mentioned the name went on and shoot Clerks among themselves and menang Sundance. And the rest was history for them, right? So for me, I came back and I never regretted because I did very well in the commercial field. I met Arwah Yasmin. I got my break into doing big commercials. Kamal was my mentor. I became his partner. You know, so life was good. Money was good. Then I started doing Jakarta, started doing in Vietnam. And I was flying the region, shooting commercials.
So you are a director of
Yes.
commercials lah. I
I
see.
start off as an EP producer, then became EP when I had to concentrate on directing. So I had to let go, but I still manage the office in terms of the whole budget and the profit and loss and all that.
When you started out with commercial advertising agency, what were you doing?
Okay. I came in after Form 5, I became a research clerk. A research clerk basically cut paper, tampal, doing research lah. By chance, I was given a task to translate something from English to BM. Lepas Form 5, tengah tunggu result kan. Instead of translating, I rewrote that particular copy. So the boss was impressed. Terus jadi junior writer. So bila jadi junior writer tu, dia bagi satu buku literature tebal. Dia kata, hari-hari kerja kau translate English lit ni ke bahasa. Aku nak tengok as a practice.
Buku
So
apa
that's
tu?
what
Ingat tak?
so I did. And then they had commercials. That's when I suka berjinak dengan AV department. Bodek ikut shoot on my own time lah. Ikut shoot. That's when I got excited about filming and all that. So hence why it was a nice transition to there lah. At that time we were doing PKNS commercial, Magnum 4D commercial. Zaman dulu kan ada Magnum 4D yang ada bawa kereta Ferrari Magnum tu. Itu commercial yang aku
involved dalam
sebagai agency punya
representative. Apa dia panggil?
Yalah, copywriter kan.
Sebagai copywriter.
Masa tu belum AV lagi. I came back after Form 6. That's when I was seconded to AV.
Sorry, AV adalah?
Audiovisual department.
I see.
Where I do recording, I go to add audio to do mixing, supervise jingle with Johari Saleh atau Betarex.
Freddie punya.
That's how I know them lah. Then I was still a young boy.
Oh, muda lagi masa tu baru masuk
after Form 5.
Belum masuk 20, nak masuk
5 years already in this line.
Lama dah hari ni. Wow, amazing.
And people don't know me because I do commercials.
Right.
That's why Arwah Yasmin realised that when they buat Rabun, nama dia naik. Dia buat Sepet, nama dia naik. When you do dramas of more so feature, that's when people realise, right? I get noticed because I decided to become a producer back and produce for my wife, Mona. And we did Redha and we did Parit Jawa and all that. Right. So suddenly, orang kenal.
You kerja dengan Leo Burnett juga ke dulu?
I do a lot of Leo Burnett's commercial. Sampai at one time, Leo Burnett Jakarta dengan Leo Burnett KL gives me enough work that I cannot work for anybody else. My showreel to become their work. Arwah Yasmin is a close friend and loves to work with me. So, dia punya first directing debut buat Kasut Gombak, I have to become the producer. Because when she gave me the break to do Petronas Deepavali, which is a big job.
Yeah.
So in return, the payback is when she ready to direct, I have to be the mentor, come the producer that be there for her.
I see.
The one that I directed was the one yang letak minyak atas kepala, lepas tu dia gendang. Luis Pregasem did the soundtrack.
Okay.
That's mine.
Okay, ini mungkin nak keluar sikit off tangent lah. I selalu cakap dengan M. Nasir. Bukan selalu cakap lah, ada cakap dengan dia M. Nasir. Actually, lagu M. Nasir, Isabella, back in 1989, ada cakap kat dia, lagu tu merosakkan lagu Melayu. Lepas tu dia cakap, okay, bagus. Akulah perosak lagu Melayu. So, itu joke antara kita orang. Ada joke. So, I explain it to him. Kenapa? Sejak pada lagu Isabella tu, the structure of Isabella tu dengan dia punya plucking in the beginning, lepas tu dia punya melody, lepas tu dia punya epic lyrics, dia create followers, apa dia panggil, clones of lagu-lagu macam tu. Ada lagu Mehua yang dia punya structure dia sama, dia punya lirik pun sama, kisah cinta dua kaum, dua bangsa dan sebagainya. Sejak pada tu lagu-lagu Melayu dah jadi tak sedap dah. Zaman macam lagu Fantasia Bulan Madu semua dah berlalu disebabkan oleh Isabella. Lepas tu semua orang buat lagu macam tu, maka kemudian datanglah grup-grup macam kumpulan Skoin, kumpulan yang lain pula daripada rock itu. And then going back to Jasmine Jasmine Ahmad punya Deepavali tu, itu pun merosakkan apa nama komersial untuk negara kita. Sejak daripada lagu bukan Deepavali itu apa Hari Kebangsaan
Ah,
Merdeka kan.
dia start with Raya actually. Yang upih, budak naik upih kena tarik tu.
Betul.
Was directed by Kamal. That was the turnaround of all commercials. Then subsequently came the Kongsi Raya. Then the one that the most classic is the black and white Hari Merdeka tu lah. Indian boy naik basikal dengan bapak dia. That's how I met her. I was the assistant director, producer, and I handled the second camera.
Alright. Lepas pada Hari Merdeka yang budak dengan bapak dia sambut tu, kebanyakan iklan nak buat macam tu. Yang panjang-panjang, ada tak sanggup tengok benda tu lagi dah.
But to be fair, masa zaman arwah Yasmin, iklan dia tak panjang tau. It's only 60 second. You rasa panjang. Sekarang ni, I agree with you. Dah jadi short film. You know, and when you see the version yang masuk ke TV, which is 60 ke 90 second, you tak faham cerita. Then dekat situ dia kata, to see the long version, please go to YouTube.
Lagi.
Betul tak? So, macam arwah punya time, is always 60-60, 90-90. Dia tak ada melirik-lirik. So, if you go back and see all the Indian boy ke, My Deepavali ke apa, precisely 60 second. Paling panjang pun 90.
Right.
Masa tu tak ada YouTube. So, client got no choice. They got no money. You have to do precise time.
So itulah I cakap sejak pada tu semua komersial semua nak buat yang macam tu that mall, lepas tu dengan dia muhibah dia, orang Melayu dia, orang India, orang Cina dia. Kalau boleh nak buat komersial, nak bukan orang Melayu pukul orang Cina pukul orang India pukul Melayu. Baru muhibah betul. Anyway, itu
well I did something like that. Bukanlah tu, tapi suggestion je. Kena ban.
Betul lah, orang belum boleh sedia terima lagi
Because you must remember, commercially every single shot must be a perfection shot. Simply because katakanlah you iklan tu keluar, you miss iklan tu pukul 7 suku dia keluar balik, 7:30 dia keluar balik kan. Repetition dia in a day is banyak. So if you make one mistake, the chances of people spotting the mistake is there. Whereas drama, kau terlepas, mungkin tak ada ulangan. Kalau ulangan pun kau mungkin terlepas lagi. Katakanlah boom masuk dalam shot ke apa ke kan. Dah lepas. Iklan, you miss the next few minute, you might see it again. Hence why it was costly then, and professionalism punya level was higher.
Lepas tu because of dia only like 20-30 second je. So the audience attention span tu lagi dia fokus tu lagi ada kat situ kan. Dia
my specialty those days was 20-30 second comedy and ada cerita.
Antaranya yang paling memorable and you personally love it so much.
Kalau you ingat, there is this commercial 10 second je where dia ni angkat nikah. Dia angkat nikah sekali bila kadi tu cakap aku nikahkan akan dikau dengan mas kahwinnya RM151 tunai. Pengantin tu cabut tangan dia terus nak bangun. Lepas tu voice over come in. Relax. Bank Bumiputra Commerce is just around the corner. Right? Pasal dia tak cukup duit tau. So dia raba-raba. Selalunya mas kahwin ni sebab RM50-60. Ini kena 100 lebih. So kawan tak cukup duit. Dia bangun kan. So voice over kata relax. Bank Bumiputra Commerce is just around the corner. Tu 10 second it went into parliament, okay?
Kenapa? Apa isu
dia? Because some MP says, inilah kita iklan Melayu, nak tunjukkan Melayu ni teruk sangat. Nak kahwin pun sampai tak ada duit kena pergi pinjam bank. Padahal kita nak cakap ATM tu dekat mana-mana. Itu je. So those are the kind of things that I get a lot of controversial from lah, you know. But it was fun. For arwah Yasmin, the more controversial it is, the better. Because people maknanya orang tengok. Orang akan cari dan tengok. Right.
Amerika punya Paul Verhoeven, Jan de Bont, they are all, at least these two people, they are from advertising background kan. Paul Verhoeven.
Most directors when they start off in North America would have dabbled into commercial first, because commercial is, to me lah, is where you practice your craft, and because everything is paid for, therefore your budget is substantial. Macam aku suka masuk zaman-zaman tu, mana nak dengar film makers boleh pakai Magnum lah, Pegasus, PowerPoint. Commercial pakai dulu. Because equipment tu masuk pasal commercial, baru orang-orang filem boleh dapat pakai. Sama juga post-production facilities. Right? Post-production facilities, ad audio, semua cater for commercials. Baru dia buka untuk movies. So it's kind of where we were at that time. We were one of the strong commercial industry in the region. Cuma kita second to Hong Kong and Thailand, kalau tak salah.
Masa tu dengan agensi mana?
Banyak. I've worked with Ogilvy, I've worked with Saatchi, I've worked with, mostly my agency at that time yang I work with is international agency. Nasib aku baik lah, nasib aku. It's all luck. You may work hard, but it's also luck.
Masa you study di Vancouver tu, precisely apakah were you studying?
I went into what they call filmmaking, punya general filmmaking. That means they teach you how to write script, budgeting, everything about filmmaking, including technical as well, right? So I start off with documentary, macam mana dia orang buat documentary kat sana, what is actually documentary, what is corporate video, what is it. Then they ajar kau to write short film, pitch documentary project. So everything is pitch. So kau learn how to do your scripts, then you pitch to your panel of instructors. Right? We call it instructors, we don't call it lecturers. They are semua part-timers, hands-on. Right? So much so, but what I myself did was, aku sebelum pergi pun, I'm already a film director by nature. I've done documentary, I've done a pilot series Pak Din KK, which I conceptualized. Masa tu aku dengan Hafsyam lagi. Because I thought I needed something to compete with Pimai Tang tu. So I came up Pak Din KK ni for RTM. So in RTM there was a Pak Din KK, right? So I did a pilot before I flew off to Vancouver. Then when I was there, I heard Hafsyam got to continue the series. But what I'm saying is, when I went there, I had a chance to learn about editing, to learn about sound editing, everything. What I couldn't actually do physically at that time was actually shoot as a cinematographer. Faham tak? Because that means become a cameraman, DOP. Because why? Nobody, when you are working, will give you a chance. Kau boleh lighting, kau terror, buatlah. So I used to only learn from the masters, which is Arwah Wakmo, a few people lah. Therefore, I didn't have a chance to do it hands-on. That means aku sendiri buat lighting, aku belajar exposure, what f-stop, upper lens. So when I was there, that was my focus. Because to me, a film director can be anybody. As long as kau creative, you know the craft, then you can direct lah. But I wanted to be a director like Kamal Mustafa, who is technically sound. That means dia tahu editing, dia tahu macam mana, kalau dia kata dia nak buat shot ni, kalau DOP tu kata tak boleh, dia tahu macam mana nak dapatkan shot tu. So that's where I concentrated on. It's basically cinematography. So on 2-3 projects out of the school, I was the cinematographer. Right? I don't care about the directing, because every time I write a directing proposal or a script, the instructor say, Haris, the fellow students cannot do this script because you have got experience. The 20 other students that we have, or 25 students that we have, are not equally same. So you can never execute this with the equipment that we have. Right? So jangan berangan lah, basically. Right? But that was good, because when you go there, you became a sponge. You just learn. You don't try. Tak dapat lah.
Bila cakap pasal cinema, when you say you focus on being a cinematographer, primarily in the beginning you can monitor, you can operate the camera, but subsequently would a cinematographer be a camera operator themselves, or they just sit back and
Okay.
manage the
Okay.
operator?
You see, in Malaysia, because we do not have a budget, a director of photography also operates the camera, right?
Okay, faham.
In America, kalau kau tengok credits, there is a director of photography.
DOP.
DOP. Dia duduk belakang, dia cuma bagi tahu lighting, gaffer, dia buat semua. Dia paint the frame basically, right? And dia work closely with the director. So dia akan ada camera operator dia, focus puller dia dan sebagainya. Kalau budget tu kecil dan cinematographer tu, DOP tu nak buat sendiri, boleh. Right? So what I wanted was to know, so that when I become a film director, orang tak boleh tipu aku. Aku dah tahu editing, aku tahu kamera. So kalau aku nak shot macam ni, kau tak bagi, aku cakap tak apa, aku buat. That's what I am, you know. So much so that you know production, you know technical, and you also direct. So if I get a board, basically what I'll do is I will have my producer's hat to see, okay, aku budget macam ni boleh buat tak dengan apa aku rasa nak buat. Okay, boleh. Budget wise, okay. Then I will then think, technically at this location, will my camera fit for the shots that I want to do? I can already think. Do I have enough natural light coming in? I can already think. Because why? I know technical, right? And at the editing stage, I've got a good editor, but I already edit the film in my head, right? So if you are my editor, you will surprise me something that I do not have here. But if you can't get what I want, I will always say, okay, let's do my version. So I'll do my version, then we compare lah. I normally don't say your version is bad. I want to see which version at the end works better. That's why it's always good to have a real editor, not a backseat driver. Maknanya dia tukang operate saja. I have to sit behind. Cut here. Potong masuk sini.
Okay, sekali lagi. Nak rewind sikit. When you say that you already have it edited in your mind, in your brain, kan? Meaning apa? When you shoot the product, you already
okay. In film, in commercial, kita ada shooting board. Every director will have our shooting board. Okay. So that shooting board, the practice will also go for film and drama lah, depending on the director. Kalau shooting board tu mahal nak buat, kita panggil, kita ada short list. Shot 1 apa, shot 2 apa, shot 3 for one scene, right? So we do it. So like for me, sometimes aku beranak shot. Maksudnya I have got what I wrote as shot 1. Then I realized, shit, my master shot is too long, right? I can never reduce this. So that's when I decided that, okay, I need this shot so that I can overlap the dialogue and see your reaction face. Katakanlah, aku bercakap dengan kau ni, panjang. So maybe I have a close-up of just Ed punya eye looking at me intensely, not the full face. You know, that cutaway shots and all that. So in my mind, already I know where to place this, right? So I give to the editor, okay, this is my shooting board. These are the shots that I shoot. There are extra shots, pandai-pandai kau lah. So dia akan surprise aku macam mana dia pakai. Sometimes mungkin shot yang aku buat tu dia tak pakai pun, because he doesn't need it. Right? He holds the master longer, which works better, right? So that's why I need a good editor. But what I will need to see is the pacing of the commercial or the film. Pacing, rentak filem tu slow ke, laju ke, chop, kalau commercial kita panggil choppy ke, pasal 20 second kan. Oh, dia rasa tak choppy tapi dia cantik je lah 20 second, right? And because I do comedy, I want my comic timing dekat at the end to my punchline to be just nice lah. Right? Because it puts a smile to your face. Macam aku buat everyday mini parliament. The line yang kita minum dulu, itu line aku. So that becomes the punchline for the commercial. Right? So things like that lah.
Oh, itu that's yours abang Minum dulu.
Itu
Itu
Susu
tahun bila?
Everyday.
Ha,
Susu Everyday Mini Parliament 90s,
90s.
mid 90s.
20 second berbandingkan dengan to produce 20 minutes punya TV series kan, apa episode kan. Macam mana perbezaan dia untuk orang biasa boleh faham. 20 second tu lebih, walaupun pendek tapi apa. Yang 20 minit ni walaupun panjang tapi apa kalau nak dibandingkan approach terhadap kedua-dua ni.
By right, the approach should be the same. The discipline should be the same. Cuma bila you have longer duration, you are not stressed out to make sure you deliver within 20 seconds. You got 20 minutes. Macam kau cakap lah. Sekarang commercial iklan raya 5 minit. Dah jadi macam short film. Kalau kau suruh dia orang buat 60 second, they may not be able to deliver the same story. Right? So, the precision, the discipline of the director is precise. And those days on film, kau tak boleh shoot sampai 30 take. Satu roll film is only 3.5 minutes kalau 35 mm. Right? And then, satu roll film with processing will cost you up to RM1,200 for only usage of 3 minutes. Whereas sekarang, SD card tu kau balon lah berapa banyak pun kan. So the discipline that went into it was totally different. See, that's why I always say, zaman film teach you how to be very disciplined.
Tiba-tiba I terfikir, ingat tak cerita Boogie Night?
I know the title, but aku tak boleh ingat.
So, dorang ni porn film punya industri. Okay. So, Burt Reynolds ni, dia orang daripada sekolah buat porn menggunakan film. Lepas tu, a group of people datang cakap, we don't need to use film anymore, we use video.
Ya, betul.
Apa soalan ni? So, you personally, you started out menggunakan film. Lepas tu apabila the introduction of beta, video dan sebagainya, macam mana how did you take it back then?
Okay. To me, it can be whatever format lah. As long as technically your discipline is there. That means walaupun video camera kau kata dia sensitive to light, natural light boleh dapat, but to make a shot beautiful, you still need the nice lightings, right? The cinematographer eye, the framing, the composition, everything is still there. What I did was, because it's video, dia ada look video dia tau. So what we tend to do is to use film lenses that with adapted to the video mount, faham tak? So that the look of the lens is not sharp compared to the video look, right? On top of that, what we did was we do a lot of shallow depth of field. We use end of the lens, maknanya belakang tu selalu soft background. So it gives you that film look and the softness. So you must learn how to use what we have and then find a way to make it to what you like. Right? Then came the digital. The digital era pun, it took me a while to see which camera that I like.
Digital camera apa primarily dia punya challenges?
Actually now dah kurang. Kalau dulu awal-awal dia selalu overheat pasal the body and the chip and all that, right? Yeah. But
in terms of production, in terms of using it for your production,
it's a bit more fragile. Therefore kau kena jaga sikit lah on set. Kalau filem tu rugged. Body film camera semua rugged.
Okay, sorry. I'm just trying to imagine je. I don't really know. Katalah film, I would assume berbanding dengan digital dia terlampau precise ke? You boleh nampak apa nama jerawat dan sebagainya.
Depending on what resolution. Okay. A lot of people selalu confused. Kalau kau pakai dia kata HD 6K ke apa ke, that is when your output, right? But if you use film lenses, it soften the look. Yes, you have the capability to make it sharp. Therefore, you will have to tell your makeup artist, okay, saya shoot ni high-end HD, top-end. So, makeup dia mungkin is customized a certain way. Tapi me and also Mona, I think, likes the natural bit. Therefore, what we do is we soft it at cameras. That means the lenses that we use, the depth of field that we use, so that the makeup tak nampak bertumpuk tau, tak nampak tebal, right?
Basically segala halangan yang kita hadapi dalam menangani teknologi semasa, apa yang kita perlukan adalah pemikiran untuk menyelesaikan permasalahan teknikal tu je lah kan.
Dia bukan masalah tau.
Tapi
It's adapting. Macam mana kita adapt dengan menggunakan teknologi baru untuk mendapat apa yang kita masih mahu. Mungkin sekarang with the new cameras, lighting dah tak payah besar-besar. Right? Sekarang kalau as you would know, kalau dia pantai satu LED light dah terang dah, okey lah. But what that does is a flat lighting because dia menerangkan sahaja. Dia tak bagi form. That's why kadang-kadang kita tengok Mak Saleh punya film, Hafsah cantik shot dia. Pasal dia berani. Dia berani, dia pakai satu source light saja. Dia tak terangkan everything. So dia ada depth, dia ada grey tones dia ada white dia. White dia pun kalau tak burn, dia punya burn cantik. Macam tu lah. So you need to know all this.
Okay. I've got so many questions to ask you tau, sampai I don't know how to structure my story right now so you just bear with me je lah. In the 90s dulu, I started out in the production house. So masa tu yang ada kamera Sony Thompson, I don't know still around ke tak.
Yes,
okay.
tak ada dah.
Lepas tu kita selalu tengok macam kenapa American movies malah UK movies bila diorang shoot langit cantik je biru dia, dan kat kita punya tempat kita gagal untuk dapatkan warna yang macam tu. Adakah kerana cuaca kita ataupun adakah kerana kebolehan teknikal kita untuk handle kita punya equipment?
Okay, senang. It's actually where we are. Kita ni di Khatulistiwa. Lighting kita agak harsh. Kita takkan dapat biru macam di Australia atau North America. In fact, Jakarta kalau dekat atas bukit dia, macam puncak ke apa, you get the better blue like Australia than our blue. Right? It's just the demographics of the country.
I see.
Right? Our color temperature lain.
Ingat tak cerita Entrapment? Sean Connery dengan Catherine Zeta-Jones was shot here kan?
Yeah.
So masa diorang nak buat filem tu dulu, I was thinking, okay, I want to see the end product because I want to know how these people shoot in KL dan dapatkan langit yang macam mana selalunya kita tengok in Hollywood. Dan bila filem tu keluar, filem tu agak bukan very clear kan, dia macam grainy sikit. Betul, saya terfikir lah, adakah because they cannot shoot it in Malaysia, so that's why they adjust the color, the look.
The thing
adakah itu yang berlaku?
No, I think the look is what they wanted for that kind of genre. But for them, it's not issue. For us, also not issue. We can just take the sky from Australia ke apa. You get a good pose. Aku tampal je, blend it cantik. We can, but it's all cost money. Right? Everything that you need post to do will cost you money and time.
Right. You have been in the business like 30 years?
35
around that?
Also, yeah.
Okay. So primarily, do you feel honestly that you are technically sound in terms of film production? Technically sound.
I will never say I'm technically sound, but I know enough because the equipment evolve very fast. And for me to keep up pun at this age, agak apa orang kata, payah nak mengaku aku ni terror lah, tak boleh. But fundamentals technically, I will say I know.
Fundamentals, basic you
basic tu aku tahu because I was hands-on in every part of it. Same goes with Mona. She is New York Film Academy. She is technically sound. She is post-production punya producer. So she did all the big jobs for TM dulu sampai ke Australia semua. So we are pretty much an all-rounder. Therefore, we are technically sound. Right? But in terms of the involvement of equipment, we have to belajar. Okay, kalau kita nak buat projek ni, then we research. Okay, which is the best camera? We already got our favorite camera, which has not evolved, which is the Alexas. Mahal, Rolls Royce, top of the range. And we go for that. Therefore, our cost automatically will go up.
Oh, you punya equipment sendiri tu
No, no, no.
Oh, you rent.
No way can I buy.
I see. You will use that kind of an equipment for your production. I see. Okay. So this next question, I tak tahu macam mana nak frame this question. Do you think you're an artistic person?
Okay, I will be very honest with you.
Oh.
I am not very artistic in terms of, because when you do commercial, your artistic level is governed by what the client wants, right? To be fair.
Right.
So when I did my telemovies, which is Rendang Tok 1 and Rendang Tok 1 2, was a spin-off of my Rendang Tok 1 series dekat Astro tu. Yang Tok 1 Astro punya series kan. So aku buat Rendang Tok 1 1, Rendang Tok 1 2. While I have the creative freedom in doing the tallies, I wasn't enjoying it as much because my soul is commercial. Faham tak? I've been brought up. I went overseas because I want to do commercial. But creatively, I am creative. But if you ask me to do a feature, I will say no, thank you. Unless it's a comedy that I wrote or I have the idea and I want to do. Then yes. Right? So that's why it works out pretty well for me and Mona. When we went into content development, I became the producer and she became the director because she's got the passion, she's got the drive, whereas aku the money man. I'm the planner with her, look for the money, benda macam tu lah. So that's how we split our responsibility.
Segala yang you belajar dalam menerbitkan advertisement boleh dibawa ke TV dan boleh dibawa ke filem. Yeah.
Yes.
Dan orang yang tidak melalui perjalanan advertisement, apa yang from your point of view dia orang lacking?
Okay, this is a sensitive question, but I'm going to answer it anyway.
I don't mean to be insensitive.
Yeah, but let's take the likes. I'm not making a comparison, but you see lah whether you want to edit it and how you edit it. If you take the likes of films of Bunuhan, So Tiong Hin punya apa? Bunuh Ledang. Mona punya Redha, Fly by Night, Guang, yang autism Chinese version. You tengok Journey, you tengok Chong Wei. Let's name a few, okay? All these people, let it be director or cinematographers, are from commercial background.
Right.
You just see the film, then you understand what I say. You compare to how they think, how they execute, art direction, and everything.
Right. Polish.
Polish. So much so, it's polished to the fact that some festival says these directors control everything. They can see it in the film. The film is not anymore so raw. There's good and bad lah, because they're so used to slickness, cantik, shot kena cantik and all that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it becomes like a long commercial. Gambar cantik and all that. So the challenge for them, these filmmakers yang dari iklan ni, is to now get the soul of the film.
Right.
You already got the look.
Yeah.
But sometimes the look overwhelms the soul.
The soul, correct.
Right? Whereas when you do it raw, you get the soul.
Correct.
Because you don't care about anything else but the story and the character and the soul. So those are the kind of things that you have to balance out. A film needs a soul. How cantik it is.
I totally agree with you. Itu yang nak tanya tu. Okay, sorry. I try to relate with my own story lah. Kita, me and my musician friends, kita produce beberapa album dan ada production kita tu yang too sleek. Dan ada orang bercakap it is too sleek sampai dia tidak ada the soul of it. Kalau nak cakap pasal dia punya mainan bagus, nak cakap pasal dia punya everything about it is good. Even the lyrics is good. I don't know mana nak tolak markah. It's just that dia tak ada soul. Okay, I understand that feeling. Even as a writer, I do understand. I do understand when people comment.
Since you touch on music, that's why when we did Redha, why we choose monologue after talking to Aubrey Suwito, talking to the big names, we decide to go with log. He's the only one who, after listening to our concept, bawa dia tengok this autisticnya boy punya pianist, dia cakap, bang, kak, maybe imperfection is perfection, right? Hence why we said, okay, you get what we want. It has. That's why you notice kalau you pernah tengok Redha, or you can see it on the 22nd, it's very much like Gravity. It's a lot of sound design. Maknanya dia tak ada, how should I say, the typical Malay song ke apa, tak ada. Right? So that's why a lot of people appreciate the differentness that you bring to the table.
I understand.
Right? So you cuma pakai certain riffs of the main theme song, which is Abah, which was composed by Locke, and then you duplicate that and you use that. Macam James Horner lah. The late James Horner, Braveheart. You dengar that signature tune everywhere. Same thing with Titanic, he did. But cuma with Locke, it's a bit more different a little bit. He pushes a little bit, which we kind of like. We make it a lot of difference. The comment that we get masa premiere was by some top filmmakers was like, tak cukup lagu, kena ada lagu. You know, so like, tak apalah, we do what we want. So like I said, it's your film. Therefore, I always tell a lot of people, there's no right or wrong. It's whether you have it or not. Because it's your film. It's your film. Who am I to say your film is bad? Right? If I think it's bad, I think it myself lah. What I can judge is your technical aspect. That you cannot apa orang kata? Cannot run away. Kalau camera shot kau macam orang mabuk ke apa, itu bad shot lah.
The technical aspect you can judge. What you cannot judge is what?
The creativity of the story, the subplots or whatever. Itu film kau. Who am I to say that it's a bad film? Because at the end, it's Ed Samad's film. But if Ed Samad shot it badly, macam continuity salah ke apa, itu aku boleh lah komen.
Betul. Ya. Sikit banyak saya faham itu. Nak balik sikit lagi kepada the slickness and the soul tadi tu. Tadi the names that you mentioned tadi tu, nampak sangat orang punya background is really from advertisement. But betapa cantik filem tu semua pun, I don't feel like I want to watch it again.
Yeah.
Bukan because I don't know yang apa benda yang sentuh perasaan aku, apa benda yang aku boleh, yang sentuh perasaan aku, yang aku boleh kembali kepadanya untuk menghargainya sekali lagi. Kebanyakan filem-filem macam tu lah. Tapi ada filem yang you tahu dia sengit ke, ada benda yang tak kena ke, but you want to go back, you want to revisit because soul dia tadi tu lah.
Betul. You take Muhammad Khalid's film. You can relate most of the scene. You can laugh. It's you immense into it.
Yep.
You take the kind of film these people do, is because that's why I said the mentality thinking is different. Right? Dia nak bawa satu pembaharuan dan dia nak bawa kelainan. I mean, look, when Sepet came out, a lot of people also don't want to see. But over time, people start to accept Sepet. Correct? It wasn't a gross box office. But until today, people talk about Sepet. The younger generation. Right? Film Redha may not be a gross box office, but it has got an international theme, which is autism. Until today, the film is still watchable by many, especially the community, because every year there will be families with autism yang baru realise anak dia autistic. Dan bila dia dengar filem Malaysia ada film autistic, dia nak tengok. So we always have people writing in and say, where can we see this? How can we see this? Even internationally, we still have people writing in. But my point is, as a filmmaker, you want to do what you want to do. Parit Jawa, orang tengok berkali-kali. Setiap kali orang tengok, we can get people on our Facebook page commenting about it. Because it's relatable. Right? It's about Javanese family, it's about tanah, it's about how you love your mother. So it's something that is relatable. So to me, it depends on how you want to go lah. Right? If you ask me, my film will be, hopefully, is an action comedy, which people can relate to my story. because you will see yourself in that situation or some of the scene in that situation, because that's the kind of things I like to do. Whether it hits box office ke tak tahulah.
I must apologize lah juga yang I've not seen Redha yet.
No, it's okay.
I've been meaning to watch it. So I'm come
Bro, Redha is actually, a lot of people say it's very niche. Some people bother to see it. Some people makes the effort to see it because it's different. Some just autism, nothing to do with me, right? So why bother?
Yeah.
Dia macam-macam punya ni ada. Some makcik-makcik takut nak tengok, takut kenan.
Kenan.
Betul.
Ya. Ingat tak satu cerita Melati Putih ke apa nama? Lakonan Mustafa Nur, Raja Emma.
Long time ago.
Saya tengok tu in probably 87 kot lah, on video. Lepas tengok filem tu, I sat down, cakap, habis, aku tengok sampai habis cerita ni. I didn't say anything. Tak ada komen, tak ada macam, I just tengok dia. Shortly after, tengok filem tu sekali lagi. Because I couldn't understand. Kenapa aku tengok cerita ni dan aku tak ada komen apa-apa. Aku nak cakap aku terlalu enjoy filem tu, tak juga. Tetapi I didn't have to see anything about the movie. I just watch it. Oh, macam ni. Kenapa aku rasa macam satu feeling yang I've not felt before watching our own movies. Because of the production ke, because of the storyline itself ke, everything about the movie cantik, perfect.
Yeah, but the thing is, sometimes you do not know what touches you. You can't tell unless you go, you study, you dissect. Because you must remember, every film is open to one's interpretation. Aku bagi kau skrip yang sama, kau baca dalam kepala kau, otak kau, gambar dia lain. Aku baca skrip yang sama, gambar dalam kepala otak aku lain. It's interpretation. And probably what you see on that screen is something that you felt. Either you felt numb or you felt engrossed, but you don't know what it is that captures you. Right? But at the end of it, you should have a takeout, whether you like or you don't. But the fact that you see it second time means you like it.
I do.
So itu dia. Sometimes you can't dissect. Kalau macam aku tengok film, aku tengok first round purely for entertainment value. Right? And if I like what I see, then probably I see a second time, then I start looking at the technical. Right? Macam aku tengok dengan wife aku, suka tengok The Lion. Aku cuma mesmerized dengan dia punya cinematography je. Cantik dia macam mana, but soul dia kuat. Sampai kau boleh rasa sebab lah. Right? So that's the kind of thing. Nowadays aku suka layan macam series from Spanish series and all that, because production value bagus, cerita bagus, twist bagus. Kadang-kadang aku binge watch sampai 6-7 episod. Tak sedar.
Yeah. Okay, sorry. Kita I'm trying to understand you. Kalau lah 10 movies, your top 10 movies kan, apa agaknya di antaranya?
Oh, you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised because I am a weird person. Bini aku gelak ke aku. I watch Godfather, of course. Right? The series, The Godfather. Then I will layan sports movie like Replacements. The Replacements yang American football. Then aku suka Great Iron yang ada siapa? Rock. The Rock. Pasal itu based on true story. Aku banyak suka based on true story. So I like Lion. My favorite is Last Samurai. Because I think that film Ken Watanabe make Tom Cruise looks good. Terus tengah aku cakap.
Wow. Yeah. You
aku,
don't like...
I like Tom Cruise, but in that particular film, he makes him look good. Okay. I like My Left Foot. So aku punya genre ni bercampur tau. Right? I still like and I still can layan The Last Mohican. I layan Three Idiots, Amir Khan. which I would consider one of my top good ones. What else? But I do not have a specific genre. Right? So that means aku watch Hindustan, aku suka, I watch again. 3 Idiots aku rasa 3 kali.
Cerita yang paling banyak kali tengok cerita apa?
Last Samurai.
Last Samurai.
You be surprised aku tengok 47 Ronin pun few times.
Kenapa?
Because I like samurais. There's a liking. I like American football. I like samurais. So and when the story is good, I mean, I will always remember the last line of Tom Cruise is like, I will tell you how he lived rather than how he dies. You know, that stuck to my mind. Right?
Yeah.
And I always put, every time I see the movie, I punya status mesti macam tu kan. Right? You know, so those are the kind of things that I will sit down, and kalau aku dah boring sangat tak ada apa, aku layan lah. So if you notice the names, I'm not trying to tell you I'm very arty person by quoting terror punya film. No, I don't. I'm very honest.
Yeah.
Right? Because I am creative of what I want to do. I don't try to drop names trying to be somebody that impress you. I don't care. That's why when I have talks with students, I said, dia orang tanya aku, you direct, but how come you don't want to do feature? Because I said I don't have it. I don't feel it yet. I went to film school and everything because I want to come back and do commercials. And to break into commercials at that time, you need to be somehow recognized. Right? And when you come back from overseas, adalah leverage sikit lah. Oh, okay. The first question Yasmin tanya aku, Vancouver tu mana Saja nak dajarkan aku kan. But it breaks a conversation, you know. So like that lah.
How do you balance between, okay, now I'm talking to a producer lah instead of a director. Bila you tengok dekat Malaysia, dalam Malaysia punya scope, how do you balance between artistic needs dengan commercial?
Okay. There are different types of producers in our country. There are people who thinks industri ni glamour, therefore dia buat business lain, dia ada duit, dia masuk ke film. Because dia nak the limelight. Therefore, kadang-kadang dia nak berlakon, kadang-kadang dia nak orang ni berlakon, you know. That is one producer. There are producer who, with business comes first from the creative. That means I must make money. So you formulate. Right? I respect Dato' Yusuf Hafizlam for that. He came to a point where the sons and all that starts to evolve it, so they make money and good stuff. Right? Yeah. And there are people who purely artistic. That means they do it because they want to do that kind of film. One of it is my wife. I can tell you now. Dia buat apa yang dia nak buat. It may not be a box office, but nak kata dia kejar nama, tak juga. But it's her full satisfaction. Because in her mind, kalau aku nak buat untuk orang, aku baik buat iklan. Aku duit lagi banyak di iklan. Right? Sama lah my mentality. If I'm making a lot of money just by shooting 2-3 days, why do I want to do a drama that only pays me the fee of a 1-day shoot commercial for 7 to 14 days? Macam tu. Right? So, you got the likes of Mona, Dane and all that who wants to do creative work. Not necessarily sellable, but sometimes it may. But it's what they want to do.
Yeah.
Right? Whereas some do it because they want to make the money. Right? And some do it purely for the glam. So, premier posing and all that, you know, because their business is making money already. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, betul.
So it no 3 ways is wrong, or no whichever way is wrong, right? But when you think of money, the chances are you don't value your team. You don't pay what's right for them because you want to make the production as tight as minimum cost as possible to maximize your profit. Right? Especially if I'm talking about dramas, TVs lah. That's why kita punya dramas ke apa tak boleh evolve jauh. Faham tak?
Sebab kita restricted by the
cost that was given already by client, by stations, and the producers nak buat duit. Simple lah. Simple calculation. 120,000 lah one super tele. One tele, not super tele. 120,000. Producer on mati-mati kalau boleh nak 20%. That is already 20%, that is about 24,000. Okay? Itu paling minimum lah, 24,000.
Sikit tu.
Itu fee dia lagi. Lepas tu kalau pelakon sekarang pula demand macam tu macam ni, kru dapat berapa? How do you expect quality? Therefore you reduce the days of shoot. Instead of 10 days jadi 7 days, 6 days. Macam mana nak kejar quality? That's why I keep saying it's always equivalent to money. The more money you get, janganlah greedy. The more you do better work. Hence why masa Mona buat, the first super tally was Mona. Because we burst the budget and spend, but then we were doing commercial. We could cover it in the commercial, see. But we've proved that if you pay good money, you get good quality. Hence why Astro had super tally in your belt. So those are the kind of things that is the balance lah. Right? Kalau buat asyik tak dua duit pun tak boleh juga. It's a business at the end of the day. So it's a tough call.
Redha, your wife, Mona, co-wrote with another person, okay?
Okay, Mona wrote in English because she did the research and all that. She co-wrote the bahasa with Azril. We call him Kenik, Azril Hamzah. So dia co-writer dengan Mona. But the base was written by Mona in English.
As a producer, kan, of course, I would imagine that you will be hunting for materials, scripts and whatnot. Banyak ke workable and good script going around these days?
Okay, there are few writers workable, good, but aku punya style bukan macam tu.
Maksud?
I don't look out for scripts, ready scripts. I develop scripts. That means I would have an idea, let it be travelogue ke, drama ke, apa ke. I came up with the key idea asal lah, as we call it. Then I get a writer to sit with me and we develop. Same goes with Mona. She will initiate her own, what she wants to do, and she does her own research and all that. When she's ready, baru dia ada writer dia masuk.
You are also one of the board of directors of Finas.
Yes.
A year ago, 2 years ago, I think masa during time YB Gobin, ada ura-ura atau kemahuan untuk mewujudkan satu perbadanan bagi muzik.
Yes.
Lepas tu antara rancangannya adalah untuk memasukkan muzik dalam Finas as well. Pada satu peringkat.
So itu bukan YB Gobin actually. Itu YB Saifuddin.
YB Saifuddin. The idea sebelum tu dah ada dah.
Dah ada, but didn't go anywhere because the music people went to see YB Gobin, but it was parked under KKMM, under the BPK, dekat KKMM lah. Right. It never touches Finas at that time, because Finas at that time, kalau tak salah, didn't want anything to do with music.
Finas didn't want, and I think I also don't want to do with Finas.
Okay. But then when YB Saifuddin came and pushed it further, we had a talk. The problem about having a new perbadanan for music at that juncture was finance. It's got to be big. It'll take a while. So how do we wanted to fast track it? So we said some suggested maybe part under Finas lah. Dia umbrella Finas, tapi you need music lah. Right? That means board members will also include the music representative lah. Macam tu. That was how it was seen. Then after dundang, there's also petition lah, apa. That's when YB Saifuddin kata, okay lah, susah sangat. Dia akan consider buka, but because tak boleh currently, because finance and everything, dia ada special officer yang jaga music lah. That's why Awi become the special officer of music to look into the music side.
Oh, you know him personally?
I don't. I've met him a few times. We engaged. Pasal Akta Finas 244 tu, I sit in. Dia adalah in those meetings.
Akta Finas 244.
We are revamping the Akta. So any Akta meeting, kalau dia attend, I jumpa lah.
Apa yang paling mustahak kali untuk di revamp dalam Akta?
You see,
tu?
the Akta is during film time. Dah berpuluh tahun dah. Kalau mengikut lesen Akta, TikTok pun kena ada license. That is the regulation of the Akta. Cuma we evolve in times, we don't take action lah. But if we want to take action, YouTube ke apa ke, we can. It's in our act. Therefore, the need to revamp, to include the new platform that is now currently available, needs to be revamped lah.
I see. Oh. So sepatutnya Akta Hak Cipta dibawa ke Parlimen pada tahun ni.
Tak boleh lah pasal COVID.
So I would assume Akta 244 ni yang memberi punca kuasa kepada Finas ni pun sepatutnya akan dibawa bersama dalam pengubahan apa sebut amendment
Perbualan Akta,
Perbualan Akta Hak Cipta. Just sharing with you and my viewers lah. Apabila muzik nak diletak, gunakan bahasa-bahasa yang longgar je, bukan terlampau precise lah. Nak mahu diletakkan di bawah Finas, antara orang yang tak agree lah. Malah untuk mewujudkan satu perbadanan muzik seperti Finas untuk muzik, I totally rasa tak perlu. Bukan rasa tak ada keperluan. Sebab apa, Akta Hak Cipta, I think Akta Hak Cipta is all there already. Beberapa perkara dalam Akta Hak Cipta tu mesti diperbaiki dalam terms of wording dia tu. Contohnya siapakah the authors ataupun the definition of authors kan. Sekarang ni dalam Akta Hak Cipta sekarang ni, kalau kita baca satu line tu, even sound right owners pun dikira authors. Memang sebenarnya tak masuk akal lah. Tetapi clause tu mesti dibaca dengan clause-clause yang seterusnya.
Itulah dia ada peraturan dia. So itu dia selalu tak ada, because it's draft by lawyers. Okay, so the input must come from players itself. So this time around the input came from players, right? So we hope to revamp lah. But to be honest, I will contradict a little bit your opinion.
Go on.
You see, by having a Perbadanan Music or a governance body of music, there is a place where musicians can go to put grouses, to ask for help, assistance, or whatever. Yes, you've been having my Hak Cipta, but it's always persatuan. There's no governance body that, katakanlah COVID problem, right? Kalau tak ada reaction from kementerian themselves, matilah all the musicians, right? By other Prisma, nyanyi kat rumah boleh 5,000 tu. There are help that is coming from the government, right? So it should have, to me, to govern. Who governs it is important. How is it governed is important. Sadly for our industry, it's a lot of, how should I say politely,
unscrupulous characters.
Unscrupulous, grouping, backstabbers, right? So hence why it make our industry, music and film, only as an entertainment industry. Government will not see it any further like how Korean have seen that particular industry as GDP contribution. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Korea realize Gangnam Star, macam mana kita gelak ke apa ke, has evolved and make Korea culture into something that suddenly, of course there were 20-30 years of planning, but they realized that their creative content could sell more than Hyundai. Now people want to see Sakura, they don't go to Japan, they go to Korea, right? Korea dramas is everywhere and people enjoying it. You need to work towards that brand. You need to work and make government realize that we could bring our culture and expose Malaysia more through the creative arts. We're not doing that, right? Kita dekat festival pun hidup segan mati tak mau. Macam mana kita nak pergi Oscar? Kita baru hantar 6 filem kot so far. 6. Out of so many years we've been in the industry. Out of Finas punya beberapa tahun. Right? So benda-benda macam ni we have to look into consistency. How do we develop? And without government assistance, we cannot go far. There's no private entity that would be able to plow money, to go that far, to lobby just to go to Oscar pun sets you back. Basic, you're talking about already 350k. To basic,
350k to get your per movie to
just have a little bit of publicity lah. Bukan full blown macam Parasite.
Yeah, betul apparently yang film from Hollywood themselves pun they need lots of
Of course. It's not
that
so
kind of
much paying for that. It's the money is used to expose your film to as many voters that you can get. Not lobbying duit tau.
yeah,
It's lobbying them to see.
yeah. Betul. Yeah,
Finas
I had a discussion dengan Johan Ishak. Dia quote from the entertainment industry, kita contribute about 1.2% je daripada the
Yeah, but where does he get his figure? I beg to differ. Because he will only see at the moment our GDP contribution is always based on gross box office at the cinema, right? Dia lupa, and most people lupa contribution dari iklan. Iklan used to contribute 6 billion dulu tau a year. Zaman-zaman heydays made in Malaysia, MIM. Now it went down to maybe 600 over million. Okay, itu iklan. You belum talk about documentary contribution. You belum talk about the, like bawa masuk film Crazy Rich Asian, shoot in Malaysia. What we call the support jobs that comes into Malaysia. Those are GDP contribution. It gives work to population, gives hotels some revenues and all that. Those are our contribution, which was never taken into account. I have gone to statistic department and met Dato' Uzair, and when they brief us about how they calculate our creative industry statistic, I say it's all wrong. Betul, dia tak ambil gaming is under our statistic, gamers, right? And beratus ribu keluar daripada IPTA, IP whatever lah, right? Dia tak consider as coming into the industry. I don't know where they get their figures from. That's where we in Finas is trying to now assign one of the top survey companies to actually do a proper paper for the GDP contribution for us to justify the spending for Oscars. If not, how to ask for money when you can't justify the return?
Your guesstimation berapa the entertainment industry contribute
I don't know. I tak berani cakap. Because I'm not into that. It's just that I know for a fact that the figures didn't come from all these other territories.
Understand.
Even Johan will tell you is what he knows through My Creative Dulu and probably through whatever he does in Awesome TV, which is the drama contribution. The other sectors,
I think dia quote this figure at least 10 years ago punya figure. Yeah. I think music industry in regards to music industry pula, I rasa kerajaan tidak pandang music industry, because I think para penggiat muzik tidak membawa masuk teks yang besar kepada negara. The musicians.
You have to see it bigger, which I think Dato' YB Saifuddin is seeing it bigger. It's not just local. We bring the local out. That's why they buat international nasyid hari tu kan. So dia nak benda ni keluar. Kalau kita harap kita saja tak cukup besar. But by having a government body, you can bring it out. And that's what we're trying to do with Finas too, trying to bring our films out. At the moment, whatever we can sell internationally is our series. Mostly yang laku animation, to be fair. Pasal senang dubbing. Live action susah because our language, especially Malay language, it's not a common language. Indonesia migrant dengan Indonesia restaurant ke apa, berlambak internationally. Sama juga Thai, sama juga Philippines, right? Ada ke Malaysia migrant banyak? Ada ke Malaysian restaurant banyak? Therefore, our culture, our thingy is alien. Middle Eastern is banyak. right? So orang compare, Middle Eastern boleh jual ni tak payah dubbing pun. Of course, because they are exposed. Korean pun sama, Korean restaurant here and there. Right? It's all interrelated. That's why I said every time we go to a market, we cannot just go as a film body saja. We have to go with Motec, we have to go with Matrade and all that. So we became big as an entity to sell Malaysia brand. Kalau music ada, we go in together. So you sell the Malaysian song, the Malaysian brand first. Dari situ orang berminat ke Malaysia, barulah kita sell individual Motec, apa we can offer, the film board, apa we can offer, what incentive we can offer if you come to Malaysia, music, what can we do collaboration with. You know what I'm saying? You got to see the ecosystem on the whole. Dia tak boleh tebuk. And problem kita ni banyak individualism in terms of who is the head. Therefore salah sikit, tak puas hati sikit, gaduh, go press, go ni. Macam mana nak maju? Then we become the laughing stock of other industry.
Halangan utama Finas sekarang ni, you sebagai one of the board members, apakah perjuangan utama yang you rasakan perlu dilakukan?
Okay. At the moment, we, as you know, we have launched the accreditation system. Of course, people will react positively, some will react not, right? We want to uplift our professionalism lah, put it that way. Tak nak lah orang kata, orang filem ni semua school leavers, tak graduate, semua orang filem. No, we want to make sure they at least have certificate. Let it be Jabatan JKM, Jabatan Kemahiran, atau IPTA or whatever. So you certify. Then after that, we hope that our portal MyCap would be able to masukkan diorang ni systematically. That means katakanlah add music. Under music is ad. Ad punya mata pencarian utama is music. Walaupun ad berlakon, mata pencarian utama is music. So ad will be known as a musician. Whether you work on other parts of the film industry, I don't care. Right? So if I'm a producer, I want to be known as a producer, I'll be the producer. Even if I direct, I will still be under the producer banner. Faham tak? Because that's professionally what I want to be known. So yang mana nak professionally nak to be known, dan cara dia punya nafkah utama dia ialah film directing lah. So kru lah. Right? So technical crew pun kita ada pecahan dia. Tak boleh lah sampai satu kategori tu sampai beratus kategori, tak boleh. So that means production manager, dia ada pengkhususan. Dan bila ada MyCap ni, dia jadi macam IMDb lah. Dia ada grading dia, ratings dia. Dan kalau kau tak berdisiplin, ada complaint against you, we bring it to judge in Finas with the complainants and all that. Kalau kau dah dapati bersalah, we flag you in the system lah. Maknanya SPP keluar, nama kau ada red flag, kau tak boleh kerja lah. Sebulan ke, penalty ke, it depends lah. It must be penalized. Therefore, professionalism will come. Because in commercial, kalau kau fuck up sekali, sorry my language, you select sekali, you will never get another job. At least from the same producer. Right? So you are as good as your last job.
That's how it should be.
Yes, that's how it should be. So that's how we want it to be. It's tough because we got people against it. Because you're changing livelihood.
Apa hujah orang untuk be against it?
It's changing people's livelihood. At the moment, like you have the Padu Citra, right? It's 3 association that has been given the mandate to make sure all the industry player must be with them, either one of them. Therefore, they get the fee. But the moment you say we don't need you, we're replacing this, habislah duit lah sini. Because it's a system that you want it to be proper. I wouldn't say it's a union, but it behaves like one lah, right? Under the Finas punya flagship.
Regarding this new pandemic era, macam mana you lihat industri film?
It's going to be tough. It's now gone to OTT lah. That's why you get 18 puasa doing very well on TV. Everybody is watching TV, right? So the OTT platforms is doing very well. Let it be the Netflix, the View, the Astro First, and hopefully soon I think Tonton will do a revive comeback, right? So they are doing well. There's a new one, I cannot remember the name, My Wayang or something. Also probably is doing well. I don't know. But it's that kind of level now, for now, right? It's just that is how shall I say, chicken and egg lah kan. You do for TV, you do not have to spend as big as you do for feature, because feature is huge cinema, terror sound system and all that, right? Whereas TV is whatever big your screen is, 60, 55, 75, tak kira lah, right? But it still doesn't give you the cinema impact. So hence why at the moment the OTT platform that Finas is helping is a super tele level, in the hope of the producers will spend all the money they get to make a good quality, so that at the end will be able to pump back up to cinema, good enough for a cinema, right? During MCO we allow boleh keluar OTT baru masuk ke cinema, macam Shift Malam Raya, a few. Kalau dulu kalau nak masuk cinema tak boleh masuk OTT dulu. That means cinema first release to be fair, then only masuk.
Sekarang you dah allow OTT and baru masuk cinema. In terms of production itself, the SOP dah in place, and you feel that with this SOP and production houses can go into producing products.
Okay, with the MCO is very stringent, because every production needs a special SPP, which they need to do a swab test first to prove that all the team members have gone into a swab test. On top of that, the locations will be vetted. Kalau dia terlampau outdoor macam baru ni kena saman, tak boleh lah. Nak cross border tak boleh lah. Right? No public places lah basically. Our studio or set is deemed confined places. That means studio. Kalau rumah tu korang saja confined, that becomes your studio, then yeah.
Banyak ke studio-studio macam ni going on right now?
Ada juga orang buat. Because Finas grant ada deadline. Some have to follow the deadlines. Some are in production, takkan nak berhenti tiba-tiba kan. Tapi I wouldn't say it's easy lah. It's tough lah.
You as a producer, how are you handling all this? How are you taking all this?
Okay. If I may be honest,
please do so.
I am, for the last 2 years, I think, aku tak buat apa. Chill. Because I know with the pandemic, on off, you can't move anything. Therefore, shrink the company low. And I am also no more in the company, because now it's only Mona. I resigned the moment I was appointed as the BOD. I don't want people to say any conflict of interest. To be honest, there's no conflict, because we do not get involved in any of the grant or whatever. Right? On top of that, I don't own a company. But I took the effort that when the first MCO happens, we already shrunk the company down. We moved to a smaller premise. We keep it lean between me and Mona at that time. And we just survive on our savings and whatnot lah. Right? Because it's so hard to produce when you do the uncertainty. The last thing I want is kau shoot sekali MCO, tak boleh shoot, momentum break, cost incur lagi tinggi, right? So we hope when things are a bit more subtle and all that, and don't know lah, maybe Mona will do her feature lah kot.
Last one lah for the time being.
For the time being.
Film school kat Malaysia, ada ke film school? Yang ada Masscom je kan?
There is Aswara.
Yeah, Aswara.
Which they wanted to change into university. I have thoughts on that. You know, to me, Aswara should be kept as an art school, like AKJ in Jakarta. Tak payah pun tukar jadi university, but it's regionally known. Let it be an art school. We don't have a proper art school. Film school ni banyak. Under Lim Kok Wing ada film school, under there's another one, KLFA kalau tak salah, dekat Wangsa Maju, right? So KLFA pula, Kuala Lumpur Film School, KLFS, right? So there is
KLFA tu bola sepak kan?
Itulah dia. Then you also have the biggest faculty of film, which is UiTM. So banyak. Unimas ada, MMU ada, UUM ada. So faculty film ada banyak. Film school per se tak ada. That means it's just film school.
The reason I want to ask that is that I don't want my children to go into art.
I am with you, babe.
Cakap dengan my kids lah. You belajar dulu jadi doktor ke, jadi lawyer ke
Ah,
apa. Dah habis tu baru you jadi filmmaker ke, you jadi musician,
yeah.
whatever you want to be.
You have a fallback. Cert.
Ah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
Agree.
Because it's a lot easier to be a doctor than to be a filmmaker. Lepas tu kita berperasaan macam ni, kita tak nak anak-anak kita, and yet kita lihat sekolah-sekolah macam ni diwujudkan. Dan tidakkah ini menginaya budak-budak ni yang mana
Okay.
diorang bersekolah dan tak ada masa depan?
Okay.
Sorry to be brutal.
Masa depan tu ada, but you must also see, this is what I have said openly, and I'm not shy to say it online. The problem is all the IPTA students yang masuk ke fakulti perfilman atau video lah, or whatever they call it, right? You know how every time in university kau ada choices? There you're laughing, right?
Okay, go on.
The last two would be fine arts and filming, right? Lain direct, apa katakanlah aku nak jadi doktor tak dapat, lawyer tak dapat, semua tak dapat, last tu. Yang itu je yang ada. Yang itu je chances of dapat besar. And dapat aku buat pasal apa? Mak bapak aku boleh pegang masa konvo cakap anak aku graduate from your ITM. Padahal kau tak minat pun.
Yeah.
Right? Tak minat pun. I've been to these universities and give talks where you have 50, 60 people in the room. Only maybe 5 to 10 at the max that pays attention. The rest couldn't be bothered. That's the honest truth.
Yeah.
And I've got interns who come to our office dulu-dulu. That's when you ask them, so what do you want to do when you graduate? Oh, saya nak jadi cikgu. Hah? Kenapa kau belajar ni? Tak adalah ada sertifikat ni, jadi nak masuk jadi cikgu senang sikit. You know? Lepas tu saya kahwin lah. And I say, why waste 3 years? So you got all these answers.
Yeah.
Therefore, the private universities where parents have to pay money and they go to learn film, like the likes of Taylor's, the likes of Sunway, the likes of IACT and all that. The students there are different. When you talk, they are very enthusiastic because mak bapak bayar untuk pergi. Therefore, dia orang kena betul minat baru dia minta mak bapak bayar pergi. Correct?
Minat dia tu betul.
So it's totally different mindset, bro. So those one that we see the final project ke work ke versus the one from the IPTA is totally different. Probably adalah menyerlah satu dua yang betul-betul passionate.
I'm fortunate enough to be reading a lot of screenplays by students. Stress, tension, kebanyakan pada mereka hampir 99% ialah orang yang tidak ada jiwa ataupun tidak ada tempat tu, tak patut. Diorang itu pilihan terakhir yang diorang ada kan. So waste of time, waste of everything.
To me, whatever I share is my personal view, right? I'm not wearing the Finas hat, but whatever I told you is from my personal view of what I know of, right? I think this is more you and me as Johannians and also as a filmmaker, you know, because I rather do talks like this without having that cap, because it's not my right to say what is planned. Whatever I could answer based on your questions just now with regards to Finas is purely what is in the pipeline already and what is general knowledge, tapi orang tak berapa faham, so I clarify, you know, like the MyCap, the accreditation and all that. And then there is also the other DKDs, which is
DKD is
Dana Creative, cannot remember
okay.
the full
Okay, that is basically Dana Creative.
Yeah, but basically it's where they give out for TV series lah, documentaries lah, short film lah, feature lah. And that's where a lot of the young filmmakers and the Sabahan filmmakers, Sarawakian filmmakers dapat. So they're very happy. The young breed is very happy.
I memang suka antaranya Paul Verhoeven, antara director yang pernah suka dulu lah. Kau cantik kan dia punya film. Selain daripada Robocop, apa lagi Flesh and Blood. I don't know people know that or not.
But you see, to me, the only difference is the discipline, the punctuality, the apa orang kata, the professionalism is totally different. Because in commercials, you are paid to do the job. Right?
Dalam lain-lain pun you are paid to do the job.
Yeah, but the thing is, the creative aspect is a bit loose. Station biar kau ada freedom. So kau pula sebagai producer, kalau katakanlah kau director producer, kau punya time is up to you lah. You know what I mean? Aku kata pukul 7, kru datang pukul 7, aku nak datang pukul 10, suka hati aku lah. Company aku. Because there is no control by an agency or by a client that sits there. Whereas for us, every production, katakanlah kita kru call 7, agency call selalunya 7.30 atau pukul 8. Client call is 8.30. By the time client sampai, half an hour later, we should be rolling already. So crew must be punctual. Crew lambat, crew kena buang. But you pay highly lah.
Regardless what is the pay pun, punctuality, you know, that level of discipline dah mesti ada.
Itu betul. But because you pay well, people work for you well. Simple lah. Kalau aku minta 800 sehari, kau bagi aku 500 sehari, 300 tu short. Aku tak happy. Tapi aku terpaksa buat pasal aku nak cari makan. Aku punya jiwa nak buat tu akan kurang kalau aku dapat apa yang aku nak. Pasal aku dah value harga diri aku.
Ya, argumentatively cakap, kalau itu tak senimpal dengan apa yang kau mahu, jangan ambil.
Itu dia.
Sepatutnya kan.
Agree. But because you also need to survive. Kan? That's why you get a lot of this manipulation of money. You get producers complain, ni makan duit, ni you don't pay enough. Then it becomes a culture. Sorry, babe. Aku very open.
Right. No, I feel the same juga. I think kita orang yang terlibat dalam industri kreatifnya, I don't know, is that how it should be ke tak? I don't know. Timing, punctuality, semua hancur.
No, that's why now Finas is drafting production contract that issued by Finas for all producers to use, a standard production agreement. Maknanya copyright semua dalam tu.
Wow.
So whoever sign that dotted line be responsible. Maknanya kalau kau sebagai producer nak complain kat aku, you can take it on Finas because I signed. That means I abide to crew call time and all that, right? And if you do not follow and is complaint made, therefore you will be blacklisted on your MyCap system. That's why we have all this. That's why I keep saying is the whole ecosystem, is the whole planning is being looked into. It's a major restructuring lah. We want good industry practices. That's the right word.
Sorry, ada dua perkara. Apa yang menghalang the players sekarang untuk mewujudkan dia punya own actors guild ataupun I don't know what you call them. And
no, they have one.
Sekarang ada.
Kalau seniman tu is considered like actors guild lah. Cuma dia tak boleh union. Dia tak boleh guild. Dia cuma persatuan saja.
Apa berbeza guild dengan union dengan persatuan?
When union, you can actually is governed by law and you can actually fight for your rights. In Malaysia, filmmakers cannot have a union because we are freelancers. Whereas in America and all that, the ROS dah faham dia orang punya style. Therefore, they allow a union to happen. In Malaysia, tak boleh. So, kita ada persatuan saja. And persatuan, you cannot dictate your members. Vice versa. Skop persatuan tak sampai situ. Skop union boleh. Is by law. So, union can fire a member out of the union.
Kita tidak ada law yang sedemikian rupa.
Therefore, we took the initiative by having this accreditation system and MyCap. So MyCap tu akan ada persatuan yang masuk park under MyCap untuk tolong kita regulate. So indirectly dia akan jadi kumpulan-kumpulan union kecil yang akan bergabung dengan Finas as a big umbrella.
Kalau ada undang-undang yang akan dimasukkan, di manakah undang-undang ini berada? Di bawah labor law ataupun di bawah hak cipta? Di bawah labor law. Kerana melibatkan pekerjaan.
Sama juga kan at one time masa zaman Gobin berya-ya nak try KWSP sok-sok. Tak boleh because under labor law which is not governed by Finas law, dia cakap freelancers caruman sukarela. Therefore kalau kau paksa aku sebagai Finas, paksa aku untuk carum
kepada your freelancers,
ya,
Tak boleh.
Aku tak nak kau penalize aku ambil kau and sue Finas kena bayar. Because labor law says I do not have to carung. KWXP punya akta pun say I don't have to carung. Therefore, who are we in Finas to force you to carung? So sama juga when we revisited the Act and the Padu Citra, by perlembagaan and law, we cannot force industry players to be part of this trade association.
Okay.
Pasal dia private entity, dia bukan Finas. So now we take that responsibility, park it under Finas. Faham tak?
Okay. Besar juga ni nak digest ni.
Betul.
So apa yang kita boleh ada sekarang ni lah this persatuan lah untuk sikit sebanyak fight for your right and also to help in whatever
Yes, and
kebajikan.
if you are not part of Finas system, why would Finas want to bother about you? So now by opening up MyCap to having persatuan park under the MyCap.
MyCap ni tadi ialah function dia.
It's a portal. It's a portal like IMDb, something like that. Malaysia something lah.
It's like IMDb, It's a database thingy.
Yes.
So
It's a database. So individually you are registered with Finas, but under persatuan also, that means all the persatuan members will automatically become MyCap members part of Finas. Faham tak? So Finas automatically kena look into your interest.
So persatuan macam karyawan, seniman semua, they can be a member of
Yes, they have
MyCap.
to apply properly lah. Show us the proper document, relevance document yang kita minta lah.
Sorry, to be a member of MyCap ke member of Finas?
My member of MyCap.
MyCap tadi. Alright. Oh, okay.
So macam company akan masuk dalam MyCap juga. Company kita ambil daripada bahagian pelesenan punya data. Every single company that does production will have license with Finas. So automatically that data will be absorbed under the company. How we going to tier the company later on will then comes into play. It's simple. If your company is 10, 20 years, maybe you tier A. Yang baru A. Yang baru lagi tier C. So then that's where we'll say, okay, the tier A company, if you want to get grant, maybe your limit is high end. Kalau kau company baru, tak bolehlah dapat the high end. Kau dapatlah the normal, tak tahulah berapa amount, you know.
The infrastructure for all this kan, ataupun the syllables atau the modules for all this you're saying, you dapat daripada luar negara ke ataupun korang brainstorm and come up with these ideas?
To give credit to Ahmad Idham, it's Ahmad Idham who proposed and we then brainstorm and do it. So it's a team effort in Finas and Finas punya team, whether they can capable to execute ke tak.
Bukan modules
idea
dari,
boleh tapi kalau tak boleh execute pun tak guna.
Bukan modules daripada Korea ke daripada Japan atau daripada UK, daripada US. Lastly, seriously, Akta Hak Cipta. So the production belongs to the company. Katalah Redha, the copyright owner is current pictures. In terms of royalty, payment semua, ada royalty ke di dalam? Ada group of people yang I dengar tak berapa follow sangat, and mereka mahukan royalty daripada film. Can you briefly explain siapakah mereka ini dan apa kemahuan mereka?
Okay, at the moment the rights belongs to Redha producers, okay? Because dia keluar duit, dia bayar. Sekarang I bayar ad for music, one off 50,000 for the whole music, blah blah blah. You sign an agreement that all rights belongs to me, except for certain rights. I say, okay, ad yang ni kau buat special music ni, rights kau pegang, aku dapat usage rights saja. Okay, that means dalam filem ni aku pakai usage. Spotify semua kau buat duit, kau buat lah. I can make that deal with you. Okay, pelakon, DOP semua tak ada, because there wasn't an agreement done. Therefore there was a case yang sekali box office meletup je, pelakon tak dapat apa, semua tak dapat apa. It's because producer cakap aku yang tanggung the risk. Filem ni tak tentu meletup. Kebetulan dia meletup. it's up to my apa orang kata
Budi bicara.
my jasa budi bicara lah nak bagi. Fair enough. So now with the agreement, we will then iron out that okay, there will that be that clause royalty. If the producer setuju, bayar less but you get for every film you get the royalty, then macam tu lah. Kau kena setuju lah. Kau tak boleh dapat full fee yang kau nak 100,000 tapi royalty kau nak juga.
Tak boleh.
Tapi kalau kau reduce kau punya fee to 60,000, right? But you get every time ni kau dapat 10%.
Contohnya. Oh, dalam korang punya plan ni, ini antara sebahagian perkara yang akan ada.
Yeah, which is the addendum lah.
Dan kalau kita produce untuk TV station pula, masalahnya the rights bukan belongs to you kan? Bukan, I mean to the producers kan? So
that is the tough one to fight. RTM kita boleh lah convince minister to give the rights to ni because it's government station. Private station, who are we to fight for that? That's why the pelaksana duit Finas buat untuk Al Hijrah ke, buat untuk Astro ke, buat untuk TV3, the producers own the rights, but duit datang dari Finas.
Tapi Astro bila dia main siarkan program tu dia tidak bayar dia typical normal amount.
Dia tak bayar-bayar.
Dia tak
Astro
bayar-bayar.
will not pay.
They just broadcast saja.
They just help broadcast because they need the product. They also suffer, so they need the product. Finas fund the product, but they can only use 1 year. If they want to rerun the second year, dia bayar royalty ke producer. And producer decide nak jual ke Singapore, duit dia punya. Never been done before lah.
Ada modul-modul macam ni di luar negara ke yang kita boleh pinjam dan guna pakai? Ada.
Australia should have.
So sebenarnya tidak menjadi masalah lah kalau kita nak sediakan dia punya draft.
Dia masalah tak ada. Is whether semua workable nak ikut atau berkesefahaman. Itu yang paling tough. Dengan private station pun we have to convince them. But then they will say we are also losing revenue to digital platform. Iklannya revenue. So how do you help us? So it's a lot to look at. Faham tak?
Yeah.
For them to pay more, they need more iklan revenue. Kalau iklan dah mula banyak lagi ke digital platform, tak bayar airtime, macam mana dia nak dapat revenue? Astro okay lah, subscription boleh tahan lagi. Itu pun subscription dah drop, orang lagi ke Netflix lah, lagi ke tempat lain.
Banyak benda.
It's not easy.
Yeah.
Aku dapat positive comment, banyak yang suka layan dengan kau punya ni. Ada dekat Facebook tu, dia kata, abang kenal Abang Ed. Oh, saya suka dia punya YouTube channel.
Thank you. So
okay
happy.
Lah.